This is most likely my last letter I'll ever make. I merely wanted to warn you all before I'm taken, just as my friend was. Several weeks ago, me and my friend Bobby set out on a fishing trip. Mind you, we're hundreds of miles from any land in any direction. Me and Bobby have been planning this trip for months now. We packed accordingly and plotted our course. We've been friends ever since high school. Ever since we met, we clicked. We share a fond love of fishing and video games. We thought we were inseparable. How naive of us. After hours of packing up and saying our farewells, we were finally out on the water. Nothing went wrong for the first few days. Our boat was pretty sizable, pretty cozy. Not much could go wrong for us. Or so we thought. I wish I could say comfort was our biggest problem, but unfortunately, it wasn't that simple for us. After the first week was past, we began to notice something frightening. There was no sound. No waves crashing. No flopping of fish on the surface. Nothing. We looked all around us and found no visible signs of life. We didn't even so much as spot the fin of a shark or a dolphin. We were completely secluded in the middle of the ocean. For hours we would cast out and get nothing on the lines. It was as if the entire ocean was dead, which we all knew couldn't be the truth. Maybe it's just bad timing, Bobby says. I don't think so. I went to the captain's nest and tried to pick up a signal on the radio. Hello? Is anybody out there? I waited there in silence for what felt like forever. We both shot a worried look to each other when we realized, after several moments of silence and static, there would be no reply. Sleep did not come to us so easily that night, or even several nights after that. We'd been on the water for over a week, and didn't so much as snag one fish. Just as we were planning to leave, a storm came upon us at the last minute. How in the hell did it go from dead silence to the wrath of Poseidon in just one day? The storm took us by surprise and shook our boat wildly. Thunderclouds roared viciously and lightning struck the water around us. The rain was merciless as it poured onto our deck and ravaged our coats. We barely grasped on the railings to avoid going overboard. I steered the boat as best as I could through the mysterious storm. By the time we made it through, I was completely exhausted. The next morning, I let Bobby take control while I got some rest. We were lucky to make it out of there with our lives and our boat intact. As I headed onto the main deck from below, Bobby called out to me. "Tom, you might want to see this." Alright, I'm coming," I mumbled to myself as I walked up the steps, still half asleep. "What is it?" Bobby slowly raised his arm towards the horizon and pointed outwards. It took a moment to observe and caught what he was trying to show me. There was a faint white cloud covering the entirety of the horizon. It was like a majestic blanket of moisture that covered everything in its path. "Huh, that's weird," I said. "Yeah." "I'd say so," Bobby replied. "That doesn't look like a normal cloud to me." Once more, I tried to reach somebody on the radio. "Anybody? Is anybody out there? Hello?" All I could get was more silence and more static. "We need to tell somebody about this," I said as I pulled out my cell phone and held it up to the sky. No service. Again, we were hundreds of miles from any landmass. No wonder I couldn't get any signal. I was all around puzzled and slightly worried. Aside from the crazy storm that ran through us, there still was no movement and no life in sight. We were surrounded by utter silence. Closer and closer we got to the mist. Still unsure of exactly what it was. By nightfall, we were upon it. The mist enveloped our boat. We were terrified. We quickly went down to the lower deck. Unsure what to do next, we waited, hoping it would pass. We spent an eternity down there. After several hours, we peered out the windows and saw we were deeply covered in the mist. "Surely it should have passed us by now," I said. I don't know," Bobby muttered out, exuding a drop of fear in his voice, as if he knew something was wrong. "I'm going back up to look around." "No, I'll go." My sentence was abruptly stopped by Bobby's bravery. "Just be careful, Bobby." "I will be." With that, Bobby headed up to the main deck to try to take a peek at our surroundings. "Well, anything?" I shouted to him. Silence was the only response I received. After a few moments, I suddenly heard the blood-curdling loud scream from Bobby. I was petrified. Not knowing what to do, I quickly started to climb up the steps to the main deck. I couldn't believe what I saw. Bobby was gone. He seemed to have taken the mist with him. I spent countless hours looking for him on the boat, to no avail. Which brings me to where I am now, staring at the horizon, writing this letter. Heed my warning. If you go out on open water, no matter how safe it may seem, no matter how prepared you think you are, if you see a mist stretch all the way across the horizon, don't go near it. Turn back. Don't touch it. Hell, don't even look at it. These may very well be my last words. I can see a mist forming on the horizon.